I married a woman who ended her abusive relationship, but her daughter got me a birthday card saying, "I hope you Delaware, and I hate you for marrying my mum Darlene, 45F, and I, Jason, 46M, married about 2 years ago, and it was one of my best decisions. We all struggled to get here, even Darlene. After 15 years together, she and her ex-husband Tom, 49M, had gone through a lot. I thought 15 years was too long. Tom was an absolute piece of work, a toxic and emotionally abusive partner. When Darlene discussed her background, it was clear that Tom had a big negative influence on her. He put scars on her, even though she's the nicest woman. She told me immediately away that he teased her in public. Darlene recounted a work incident at supper with pals. Tom chuckled and interrupted her story, saying, "Oh, Darlene is so important at her job. Without her, no one would get coffee." How humiliating could that have been for her? Naturally, he laughed it off, but everyone knew it was meant to hurt. Darlene informed me she wanted to go immediately. His total control over her life was the worst. He always wanted to know who she was calling and where she was going, even if she was just a few minutes late home. He was suspicious and accused her of cheating whenever she chatted to another man, even the grocery store clerk. He would question and punish her like she was breaking the law. She called him to say she would be late since her car broke down on the way home from work. Instead of being nice, he accused her of lying. Yes, the gaslighting was clever. He twisted the matter to make Darlene feel awful when she questioned him about his behavior. "You're overly sensitive, or you're imagining things." She confronted him after seeing him eating lunch with another lady. Even though the proof was there, he called her neurotic and insecure. After being convinced that she was overreacting, she apologized to him. Can you believe it? She told me he made her feel useless anytime she attempted to leave, which was horrible. Darlene is powerful, and has tried to escape him countless times. Tom would discourage her by stating, "You'll never find anybody better than me, or no one will want you after all these years." She stayed for 15 years because he told her she didn't deserve better, trusting his falsehoods. Darlene was married to Tom when we met. Our relationship began at a local walking group. We met often on these walks and clicked over time. She was someone that made you feel comfortable immediately away and was easy to chat to. We soon developed a deep friendship. We spoke about anything from our favorite films to our families and challenges on those walks. Naturally, Tom didn't like that. His fierce jealousy was clear from the start. Initially, I didn't understand why Darlene would go quiet for days. She'd stop answering my texts or skip walking group sessions, though bewildered and wounded. I assumed she had her reasons. She revealed that Tom had a friendship issue. He would become angry if he discovered we were chatting or she was strolling with the group, especially if I was present. He said she liked me, which she didn't. We were buddies. But Tom's sick thinking saw every man who noticed her as a danger. I recall Darlene and I stopping at a cafe for coffee after a walk. Everything was innocent. We were speaking about the weather and small banter. Tom's acquaintance spotted us and told him later. I suddenly lost Darlene for over a month. She returned and informed me Tom had gone awry, accusing her of infidelity and ordering her to cease communicating to me. His actions included taking her car keys. Knowing we appreciated each other's presence set him off. It bothered me that she apologized every time she left. "I'm sorry, Jason, I can't handle the turmoil at home." I understood she was avoiding conflict. But seeing her thus imprisoned broke my heart. I reassured her that I'd be there when she was ready, and that there was no pressure. The Tom predicament was clearly eating her alive. I became more protective of Darlene as I learnt more about Tom and his behavior. She didn't deserve anything. Even with her many problems, she was always nice and caring, making sure everyone was okay. Tom's fears and control difficulties caused her to be dragged away from things she liked, which made it more painful. Darlene spoke out about living with Tom after too many of these instances. She described the repeated allegations, the insults, and how he twisted things to make her feel bad. It was evident that Tom was poisonous in every part of her life, not just me. He isolated her from friends, criticized her looks, food, career, and everything. He was steadily eroding her self-esteem, making her feel like she could do nothing right. Darlene had the toughest time leaving Tom. She snapped after 15 years of his domineering and abusive behavior. Oversalting meals was the straw that broke the camel's back. Today looked to be a day of no success. Darlene mistakenly added too much salt to supper while hurrying to finish after a hard day. Even if it wasn't horrible, Tom lost it. He screamed, called her names, and made her feel like the worst wife ever. Something snapped inside Darlene this time. She didn't fight back as she normally did. She sat silently, absorbing it all in. She probably realized she couldn't do it anymore. The next day, she packed and departed as Tom worked. She sought my aid since she had nowhere else to go. She arrived at my door weary, like she hadn't slept in weeks. I immediately accepted her without hesitation. As she divorced, the next months were difficult. Never have I seen somebody so exhausted. Darlene was broken but determined. She knew she deserved better, even though it was sometimes difficult for her to see. New challenges arose daily. Tom made the divorce difficult. He procrastinated in hopes that she would alter her mind and return to him. Though it tore her apart, Darlene persisted. She had a lot on her plate. She struggled to reconstruct her life after leaving Tom and manage her connection with her 15-year-old daughter, Linda, 20F. It seems Linda was constantly closer to Tom. Why her mom left her dad so quickly puzzled her. She idolized him. Every time Linda called, Darlene's eyes showed grief, sobbing and questioning why she had broken up the family. Linda felt betrayed when her mother left them without notice. Darlene was sitting at my kitchen table one night, crying, with her phone in her hand. Linda had just hung up after pleading with her to return home. How could Linda not know the entire scope of her parents' relationship? Tom tried to look well around her. He was a doting father around Linda, but a different guy behind closed doors. Darlene attempted to explain to Linda why she left, but a 15-year-old couldn't grasp a violent marriage. I tried to help Darlene, but I could tell she was struggling. She regretted leaving Linda, even though she knew it was best for her sanity. She was consumed with remorse and worried for Linda's well-being. It didn't help that Tom was lying to Linda to make Darlene the villain. He lied to her by saying your mom doesn't care about us or she left to be with Tom. Linda was young and bewildered, so she didn't know who to trust. Linda despised me before I met Darlene because of this. It didn't matter that I helped her mom through her darkest periods. Linda thought I broke up her parents and ruined everything. Linda wasn't happy when Darlene and I started dating a year ago. By then, Darlene and I had known one another for years. It seemed logical to make our relationship formal. We married within a few months, which may sound hasty, but it felt perfect for us. For the first time in a long time, Darlene and we were thrilled. Linda still disliked me. She skipped our wedding, which hurt Darlene. She was clearly saddened, but she attempted to dismiss it by stating Linda needed time to adjust. I hoped she'd change after seeing her mom's happiness, but she didn't. Linda hardly spoke to us until necessary. About a year ago, Darlene lost her job.